Marvel and DC have long attempted to generate outrage as a form of getting attention to their comic books. It's a really weird strategy. I don't understand it because it might get some short-term eyeballs on things, but what it invariably does is get more people to jump off than jump on. And I think we're seeing a critical mass of that happening recently with DC Comics. You've seen over the last few years turning Superman gay with the Jonathan Kent, Tom Taylor Superman, turning Robin bisexual, turning Green Lantern Alan Scott gay, and then actually having Tim Sheridan go out there and make a video and be like, we're going to own the bigots by getting this book. Like, all of these moves have been intentionally something to generate outrage. And now they're doing it over Batman's logo, it looks like. It's a marketing tactic that I've seen many times before. And it goes back further than when they were, just trying to turn DC Comics into like some weird gay bar. It's been for years. Like, I mean, I remember even with Civil War with Marvel Comics, the whole Captain America is a bad guy. They actually went on the Daily Show and started arguing about it on there, to try to generate media interest, and it worked for a time. People actually cared about these things in the media. When they did Death of Superman, it got all over the media. When they did Civil War, it got all over the media. It doesn't get mainstream media anymore because nobody cares or buys about these cares about these comics or buys them anymore. But it is something that they're using on social media in order to get this going. And so I pointed out that I've always thought Marvel and DC generate outrage intentionally to try to get people to talk about their books. This pretty much confirms it with Scott Snyder and what he says about Absolute Batman here. He says every angry tweet only makes it 1% bigger. And he put the smiley face on there, and some people called him out on this too, which I'll get into in just a moment. I market my books based on the fact that they're good. It's quite different, and that's why I've got The Hidden Emperor on Kickstarter right here. You're going to love it. This is fantastic work. If you love the 70s and 80s Marvel before it was just marketing gimmicks and things like that, when it was actual storytelling, complete stories in a single volume, characters that actually develop, and just some good art that actually, it seems human drawn rather than is a 3D model or whatnot that's kind of lifeless. This is the opposite of what they're doing these days. And so I'm trying to bring things back. If you like 2000 AD, Valerian and Laureline, Nexus by Mike Barron, the great stuff from back then, this is good stuff, and you're going to love it. Please get this in the description below. Support us. We already hit $30,000 on this yesterday, and I appreciate you all for being there and supporting our work. It's in the description below. And do hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about all things comics here on JDA Talks Comics. I love having you guys here. We've been getting a lot of great discussions going. Been getting some good emails from people too, and I appreciate you for being here. So, yeah, I mentioned this before, and people called out Scott Snyder on it, and he did it was only a joke, bro, thing about this. But most people have actually gone out and looked at this bat design or whatever and just said, this looks stupid. Batman looks stupid. The design is terrible. And it really is. And apparently this is supposed to be some mallet axe thing or whatever, and some representation of that. I don't really care. It just looks bad and it looks lazy. It really does. And it doesn't evoke Batman. So when you call something Absolute Batman, that's supposed to be like the ultimate Batman. You notice what they're doing right there anyway with this whole line. It's just a copy pasta of Jonathan Hickman's Ultimate Universe, but done with DC. They've even made it so where it's like a dark side version of the universe, not just like the Maker's version of the universe in Marvel. It's based on the villains. It's really a copy paste, and that's the main problem they're going to be facing with this entire line and this entire launch. Now, I have no doubt Scott Snyder is going to do a good job with the world building. I'm not opposed to Scott Snyder. I think he is an expert world builder, and that's his forte. He does a great job on that level. I will give him that. He'll have this going, but then you've got the full line along with it. It's going to be a train wreck with Jason Aaron and Kelly Thompson doing the other books in the line so far. But I don't know that many people are very excited about this. DC says they're all in, and that's very scary language. We reported this weekend on the channel that Scott Snyder sounds like he's not even super enthusiastic about it, that he's made comments that he's nervous about this, that he's hoping he's going to be employed in a couple years. So this is something where it really is their last-ditch effort, and I'm told by people inside, too, that this is, in fact, their last-ditch effort. This is not This is not a drill. They don't know what to do after this. They might start selling off their assets, and Warner Brothers does own them. They might just license some of these characters out to other companies because they can't make it go. 66% of their line right now is under the cancellation line for profitability, according to Thinking Critical the other day. They're in trouble, and I don't think designs like this. I don't think outrage marketing like this. And looking at what he says, it looks like they designed this intentionally to look bad and weird, to be an outrage marketing tactic. I don't think it's going to work at all. Now, people are making fun of it on the internet. This is my favorite meme out of all of it so far. Absolute Spider-Man, no hyphen. What do you think about the new Absolute Spider-Man logo? Logo evokes Uncle Ben's coffin. Symbiote gauntlets for harder punches. Wide frame indicates brawling style. No webbing because he's poorer than usual. And venomous spikes paralyze villains. Oh, this is really good. And very funny stuff by Wednesday Poll over here. Big credit to you for making such an amusing situation out of what is just a god-awful design all the way around. Now, artist Terry Moore, who has been doing independent work himself for a long, long time. I just got his Paradise 2 complete. He did a Kickstarter last year, super successful. And it was all his cartooning work from about the last 20 years, 30 years, whatever, as he's, learned to become a comic artist and more. And it's all different comic strips that he was attempting to get going. He really wanted to be like a cartoonist, and doing the weekly, daily strips like Garfield or whatnot. He's really into Peanuts. I know that is his big influence right there. And Terry Moore just made a quick logo fix. So if you wanted Batman to be gritty and not really like something where it's like a costume that's like been made by a expert cosplaying outfit, and you just wanted to have him like throw some tape as a design real quick or something like that, this would be a way to do so. This would make it work, because like if it's just some dude trying to pretend to be a bat real quick and making a quick logo that is a calling card or whatnot, this actually makes sense. And so while this is something that is definitely on the minimalistic side and definitely silly, it's still a way better design than what they did for Absolute Batman, because it actually looks like a bat a little bit. And so that's a deal that's going on right here. Now, Terry Moore's post went viral on this, and actually people started grabbing the logo and not attributing him, which is really, really, unfortunately, it's a part of the internet culture these days for that. I wanted to make sure that he did get this attributed, because it evokes the discussion here. Like, what the heck are they thinking, DC Comics? Why did they go with this sort of route? And why, if they were trying for this like minimalistic like sort of thing right here, I just don't know. I really don't know what they're thinking. And that's why I got to think that this has to be an outrage marketing scheme. Like, there can't possibly be any other reason for it, because the design is so bad. And maybe like, I don't know, I mean, maybe it is a axe or a mallet or something. Maybe there's a reason for it in the story. I've not read it yet because it's not out yet. It's coming out October 9th, and I will do a review for you guys when it comes out, and I'll be honest about it. Like I said, I got nothing against Scott Snyder. It just seems like there can't be much of a reason for this Batman Rob Liefeld-esque design of the whole Batman, plus this weird sort of spiky thing, without some sort of outrage marketing thing attached to it, because it seems like this. Now, I pointed out also, every image of Absolute Batman makes it look worse. It's just, the Absolute universe like feels all wrong. And I guess it is a villain's version of the universe, which, if you're going to reboot something, I don't think you really need a Elseworlds villain universe and just not called Elseworlds at this point, if you're going to make it go. And you're trying to make it a long-term thing. I think you do need to try to make the characters more iconic, try to give them a jumping-on point from a starting vantage. What the Ultimate Universe did with Marvel Comics back in 2000 was gave just that. If you read Ultimate Spider-Man by Bendis, I know a lot of people who watch this are not Bendis fans, like, Peter Parker really felt like a new character that was like fresh and like a 2000s version of him in high school again. It gave people that jumping-on point for comics for real. Does this do that? It creates a Batman that's like, again, dark and edgy and the problem with a lot of modern comics is even when they switch things to the all new #1 issue, if you don't know who those characters are and you don't know their backgrounds, like they really don't treat them like they're new characters, and like there's new readers actually coming in who have never heard of them for the first time. That's the main problem. If you really are desperate for your comics and you really are desperate to get that going, that's what you need at this point. And that's what the New 52 failed to deliver when they relaunched all the lines. At that point, a lot of those characters, again, some of them did. Like they actually started off Supergirl in a great way back then, but most of the lines actually just continued on as if they were, nothing new about them. It just had a #1 issue to it, and it was really weird. And so that's what's kind of going on again, in my opinion, with Absolute Batman and the Absolute Universe. I just don't see this as a real jumping on point. I see it as an outrage marketing gimmick, and it'll work for the #1 issue, maybe the #2 issue, but unless there's something I'm missing, and maybe Scott Snyder's got something up his vest and he's just not revealing it, I don't know. We'll see it when it comes out. This just doesn't look good. And Terry Moore's art looks way better. I just love following his stuff. He's been every graphic novel he's been putting out in the last few years has hit it out of the park. And if you guys are not familiar with him, I recommend grabbing his Rachel Rising. That's probably top 5 favorite comic books of all time for me. All right. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to grab the Hidden Emperor on Kickstarter. Appreciate you guys for all the support. We'll be back soon.